Yeah, so that's a really interesting point. So
Clinical trials. You can't test a million people typically in a clinical trial. But we know, am I correct, that there were some people who were found to have a natural immunity to the HIV virus? The HIV, is that correct?
yes, that is true.
So were
There's
those
a couple
people
different ways.
collected and do a an I Am Legend scenario with them?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting point. So with HIV, there's two ways that rare people can actually become resistant. And one way is because their bodies are genetically missing the receptor for HIV. So HIV, in order to enter cells, has to bind to something on human cells. And some human beings are missing that receptor. And these are people who are rarely resistant. They don't get any infection at all. Other people got infected, but their bodies very rarely made what they call a broadly neutralizing antibody that was effective. And both of those approaches are being used going forward and have already, in some cases, helped people. They actually took the stem cells out of a human being because the stem cells, they're what they call the blood stem cells or the hematopoietic stem cells. They make your blood cells, including your T cells. We all know that HIV attacks your T cells.
Yeah.
So what they did was they took a poor patient who was suffering from HIV because the HIV was killing their T cells, and they took out their stem cells. They knocked out the HIV receptor, and then they gave them the stem cells back.
Whoa.
And now this person's own stem cells were now engineered, genetically engineered to be resistant to HIV because they no longer had the receptor, and they repopulated themselves and they were cured of HIV. Now that's a very hard treatment to do to thousands or hundreds of thousands of people because that's a genetic manipulation and a stem cell transplant, but it actually works. So you're absolutely right. Just like I Am Legend, there are the rare HIV people who are immune via these two different approaches. One is antibodies, which is related to what we're doing for COVID, and the other is, missing the receptor. And they've taken both approaches and they're trying to use them to help in the HIV situation.
But if I don't have a receptor, it doesn't mean I'm warding off HIV. It means I'm not affected by it. But does that mean I can still carry it?